Chelsea.
Maureen, do I need to declare that my wife teaches in Plainview? There's no conflict of interest there, is there?
Do you have to what?
Shall I declare that my wife teaches in Plainview? Item 5.2.
Oh. I would.
Agreement with the coordinator or transportation.
Not benefiting from.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Good evening. Would you please rise and join us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
The first order on the agenda is public comment. If there's anyone present or online that would like to speak to the county board, please let us know. I'll ask 2 more times. If there's anyone present or online that would like to address the county board. And one last time. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone online or present? With that, we will close the public comment section. Next item on the agenda is 3.1 county board minutes from July 9th.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Meyer, seconded by Commissioner Olson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consent comments and approval of agenda. Commissioner Elsing,
Oh, nothing for me.
Commissioner Ward.
Nothing, all my questions were answered, so no, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I could share the information.
Marie got back to me about my stuff too, so we're good.
Commissioner Olson.
Nothing for
She's
me.
good.
Commissioner Meyer.
No, nothing.
Ms.
Thank
Holte.
you.
Anything else from staff? All right. Then we'll move on to a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Elsing. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Holte, can you read the consent items into the record, please?
Yes. 5.1, approve contract with Winona Health for navigator services. 5.2, approve renewal of purchase of service and business associate agreements with Plainview, Elgin, Millville School District 2899 for transportation of children and youth in foster care. 5.3, approve renewal of collaborative interagency agreement. 5.4, approve agreement 1056386 with MnDOT for railroad crossing surface replacement of CASA 29 in Lewiston. 5.5, approve using income maintenance grant for Exigrid EX36 data backup solutions. And 5.6, confirm payment of disbursements.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the consent business as read.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Meyer, seconded by Commissioner Olson. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 6.1, appoint 2 county board members to the Joint Airport Zoning Board.
Who's
It's Commissioner Meyer and Commissioner Olson.
currently in whose districts or the airport actually? Yeah.
In the city.
In the city.
Within-
It's in the city and part of
Actually,
it's in Rolling Stone Township.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
what I
Good
didn't know
view
if
as
it
well.
was. Good view in the
Yep.
list. So it'd be mine and Dwayne.
I in the past, I have no preference whatsoever. And you have some airport experience though, Josh, right?
Well, I'd fly, yeah.
Right.
We
For what
did,
that's worth.
we did meet during the pandemic because they revised the
Right.
zoning ordinance, which resides at the city, but that's done. And so my guess is we probably won't even meet. Or however,
Well, it's,
whatever. the
I
term
actually
is.
have a fair amount of experience years ago. My dad actually at one time was an aircraft mechanic there. He was the one that did that, and we flown out of there with Lyle Sauer, if anybody remembers Lyle. And then Lyle was such a good guy. And then, of course,
So you're interested in serving?
well, I could. I mean, if it's something you said is very sporadic, and yeah, if it were to come up,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. If you need me to be, I can be. If
Anybody
you
else?
guys want off from it, you can. If you want to stay on, please do.
Fine with me?
Could someone make a motion then to appoint?
I'll move to appoint Josh Elsing and Greg Olson to the Joint Airport Zoning Board.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Meyer to appoint Commissioner Elsing and Commissioner Olson to the Joint Airport Zoning Board. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's something that they could follow up on, because I was having an interesting conversation with somebody that works for Cargill. They have a fleet of drones Can you fly drones out of the Winona Airport?
If you have a
Are they-
license, so a drone license actually is
It,
very
it's
similar.
nothing to do with the airport facilities. Or does
It
it?
depends on, there's some rules and regulations depending on the size of drones, and it kind of, it's regulated by the FAA, just the same as that is.
Either their flight path.
Yep, so depending on what it is, what the intended purpose is, the size of it, et cetera, is gonna be indicative of.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's something in our, well, it's here now and definitely in our future.
Most
to
of what
use
we
them.
did was the construction around the landing strip for reflective surfaces and you had to have a clear zone.
Yeah, because of 9/11, there were long past changes in terms of there can't be trees for
Yep.
hiding, I get RPG or whatever.
Yep.
And they had not done that. They were out of compliance with what the federal law was. And so it was rewriting the zoning ordinance to match what the changes
All
were.
right, okay.
All right, next, item 6.2, discuss and/or appoint citizen advisory committee member. This is one person for one position, right?
Yes. Board of Appeals.
Miss Megan Bakes.
I will move to appoint Ms. Zegas.
I'll second that.
Seemed like a very qualified individual.
Motion by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Meyer. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The amended agenda has an item 6.3, correct? In terms of appointing two commissioners to the canvassing board. Ms. Wilbright?
You're exempt. You can't be on it.
Yep.
The rest of you, since you're not on the primary ballot, can. Once we get to November, it will have to be Commissioner Ward and Commissioner Meyer, because the rest of you will be on the ballot. But for canvass on August 15th, we need two commissioners, and that I have the boardroom held for like 8:30 to 11, so it could be at 9 or 10, depending on your schedules.
August 15th.
August 15th, Thursday, August 15th.
Thursday. Commissioner
How do
Olson?
you know he's gonna be on a ballot?
No, I can't. She said, I just can't for this
Oh,
one.
he can't for this one. I apologize.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
might
Yeah,
get to be on canvas board in November, but we'll hash that out later.
Are you counting ballots?
So we have.
Yep.
I have a Whitewater Joint Power Board meeting that morning, so that usually lasts till about 11-ish. Sometimes we're done at 10, sometimes we go later. So I could do it, but it would be tight to get all the way from there back up to here. So-
Right.
And I chair that board, so.
Commissioner Meyer and
I can
Commissioner
do it.
Olson.
Yeah, I can
Commissioner
do
Olson.
Then what time is it at?
9.
9 or 10, whatever works with your schedule.
Nine would be better.
So do we need a motion for that?
I'll move to appoint Commissioner Meyer and Commissioner Olson as the two commissioners to serve on the primary election canvas board.
Olson, can you second that?
I can second that.
Motion by Commissioner Ward, seconded by Commissioner Elsing to appoint Commissioners Meyer and Olson to the primary election canvas board. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Before
you.
Ms. Wilbright goes, though, I'm getting calls from concerned citizens. We've got the commissioners now. Do you have the people, the citizenry appointed to the canvas board? I'm getting
The ballot board,
questions.
the ballot
Ballot board.
Yeah, that's separate. Ballot board, we're still working on off our last one, partly because I got to coordinate 6 teams, because I want to have 6 or 8 teams for ahead of the general, and I'd like to be one and done. So I'm trying to get that coordinated with the list that came out in May, but we are just working off the last one. So the ones that were.
When you say 6 or 8 teams, I guess I don't understand what's it.
So there, due to legislation as well as a former lawsuit, not with our county, but with other counties, ballot board duties that are required to be done by a party balance of election judges include duplicating the ballots. So that would be any UCAVA ballots that come in ahead of the election will have to be duplicated before they can be processed with their precinct, as well as any that might have stray marks that don't go through correctly, as well as the other task that a party balance of election judges not deputy auditor treasurers, has to do is if it comes down to signature verification. So when ballot board meets and they look at the ballot application, or in the case of permanent or mail ballot precincts, the voter record, and they compare the information on the signature envelope to the information on the ballot application and or the voter's record to look at all right, is it that person's still at that address, and does the ID number match? We're running into issues with, so the statutes around permanent absentees changed as of June 1st. So instead of getting, prior, it used to be that permanent absentee folks would get an application each year, one application each year at the beginning of the year for all elections for which they're eligible throughout the year, and they would have to return that application if they actually wanted a ballot for those elections. As of June 1st this year, those folks on the permanent absentee list automatically get a ballot. Well, if they put their driver's license number on their signature envelope and we have their the last four of their social on their voter record, then we can't confirm that. And there's no signature on record to verify. So those ballots have been rejected along with a note that says, hey, this is why, please use the last four of your social on your signature envelope. And we've gotten those replacement ballots back already, and they understand, they get it. We can work with those voters going forward to maybe update their voter record so that it has both of those pieces of information. But circling back, the duties that have to be done by a party balance of election judges are duplicating ballots, which we will do on the Saturday that we have to be open ahead of the election. I'll have party balance of election judges as well as a team of my staff there, so everybody's in the loop.
And how many of each party are,
For the primary, right now, we're sitting around probably close to 300 ballots that have come back.
oh, I meant people. How many people serve on the ballot board? You know, has to be-
That's where I was saying I'm hoping to just put it in front of you folks to approve the ballot board once and have it done for the rest, but we've been working off our last one. It depends how many ballots we get as to how many have to work when we're opening ballots.
Okay,
Generally, I want 4 to 8 teams, and what I mean by teams is I need at least 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats on my list so that we can work with the schedules.
yep, okay, all right.
Commissioner Ward, you finished?
Well, and then there was one other question. I have, some township officials have asked about the training.
Yep, judge training has gone out to the clerks.
It has
So
gone
the
out to the
clerks have all the rosters. So if anybody's still looking for judge training at this time, have them contact their clerk, because the municipalities themselves hire their judges. So I reach out to the clerks, and the clerks figure out who goes to what training.
Okay, so they have it. All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Commissioner Meyer?
Okay, so, Ms. Wilbright, just to clarify, when you say we're working off the last one, what you mean is that the last resolution we passed
Was last year,
was
yes,
in March of 2023.
correct.
And we had 12 people, a mix of Democrats and Republicans that were put on that ballot board.
Yep.
And so that is the ballot board that you.
That's
will
going to be the
pull
ballot
from.
board. Yep. I wanted to have a new one shuffled around before this August election. The next board meeting is the August election. So I'll be pulling from those names to help us open ballots and do any of the duplicating, et cetera.
Okay, so that's the pool that we'll be using for the primary.
Correct.
And then before the general, you will get to us a new resolution
Correct.
with a broader list.
Correct.
Because you want a bigger number to pull.
Right. I feel we're going to need it. It's hard to gauge because 2020 made everybody realize that they can do absentee for no excuse whatsoever. But 2020, everybody was locked in their homes too. So I don't think we're going to anticipate that scope of absentee. I mean, our county has approximately 30,000, between 28 and 30,000 registered voters. And we had around 12,000 absentee votes in November of 2020. So I don't think we're anticipating that, but 2020 changed the world where folks do things online, folks do things from home. So I think it'll be higher than in previous years, but not quite 2020. So I want to have a little bigger pool.
I'm sorry. So in 2020, Or was it 2022, there was 12,000 absentee votes?
2020, in the 2020 presidential election cycle, where we were locked down for COVID most of the year, that was like 12,000 absentee votes.
But, and actually, I mean, your first number is just registered voters, it's not
Correct.
people who actually voted,
Right.
which is
Correct.
different. So that number is probably even higher than a third. It might have been as, but that, granted, it's COVID, so that's
Yeah.
hard to compare.
Yep.
Do you know what the 2022 numbers were? If not, no worries.
I don't know off the top of my head.
It's interesting.
When I'm planning for elections, I look at the last one of similar style. So I skip right over 22 and go back to 2020 when I'm trying to plan for ballots and such. That's how statutes written as far as ordering ballots, et cetera.
Well, there, in a presidential election, there will be nothing that you can compare to what's happened in our.
You're not wrong.
That's what they're saying. Rich. Commissioner Meyer, you referenced, is it March 2023 that resolution is in there?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
March 2023.
this
Okay.
is the packet from,
I can resend that resolution to all of the commissioners.
Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I can do that.
it's a packet from the March 28th meeting.
March 28th.
That's when we passed it, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else for Ms. Wilbright? I'll just add, no matter who you vote for, make sure to encourage folks to vote on August 13th. It's an odd election. The U.S. Senate Democratic candidates and U.S. Senate Republican candidates, there are technically primaries. Otherwise, there isn't much else besides the state house, right? Because Soil and Water does not have a primary. So but still important for folks to make sure that they vote, whoever they vote for, make sure that, because we won't see each other again because of the.
Yeah, your next board meeting is election day, the
There's
morning.
5
Yep.
Tuesdays in July, so we won't meet again until then. So.
And I think there was a question about it on some meeting that we were at the other day. It was a Zoom meeting. The deal is, I think if it is an election day, we can't have our meeting after
At night.
5
Yep.
or something
Yeah, it
like
was,
that.
yeah,
But the
somebody
reason we
asked that.
can is because it's in the morning.
It's in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've had school districts reach out, when are the election cycles, so that they don't have their meetings at night, so, yep. You're clear if you're in the morning, but not at night.
Did we vote? Are we done? That was
I
just,
think
Yes.
I think that's it.
Yep.
That was,
Meyer and Olson at 9 a.m. on the 15th. Thank you.
I'll second.
motion by Commissioner Meyer, motion by Commissioner Olson, second by Commissioner Meyer. Any other discussion? At 6:18, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Almost a new record.
Yeah, what was the record? I don't know, 15 minutes one time, right?
Actually, we had one in 11 minutes.
Whoa.
Chad, can I ask you a question?
Oh.
Please, well, the meeting's over. I have to change,
No, you can't. No. Just kidding.
I have to change my password again, and you guys